That's not enough.
It's like all tempo, right? He's 100% reliant on just tempo.
All right. I'm starting to see why Luna did quite well in the first one. I think she's very strongly favoured in game 1 in particular here. But again, with the Cthulhu in game 2, I can see why she's in a good spot. But you still have to play the games. We've seen many, many times that all sorts of things can happen after casters have given their opinions on what's strongest head-to-head. But then the game takes place and something very unusual happens that we hadn't thought of most of the time.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into it. Eddie, Draconic Studies, Pommery in the opening hand.
Okay. I like the Skeletal Dragon, given that Eddie has no value compared to Luna, so that's a big deal. Quite often gets you 2 dragons, definitely gets you 1. If Eddie can generate a way to copy it, maybe later on, get some of that lost Mace Grab value back. Keep an eye on how both players choose to interact, because of the giants doing damage to the opponent and so on. Might not want to let your opponent heal back up small amounts of damage. So, for instance, this Scorpid might just be played and sit there.
Yep. I mean, I could see merit for all these. I have Yasharaj and the Auspicious Spirits, both just ways to generate minions onto a board to try and play for tempo. And then the Powered Feast is good with the Sethics. Powered Fortitude, quite cheap right now. Yep, down to 1. I was going to say 2, but then it gets the discount from pod readings. I wonder if you just play it now and start just jamming with this Scorpid. Oh, yeah.
Apotheosis next turn to do even more damage. You've got a Raised Dead. You can't challenge... Oh, you can challenge the giant because you've got Hysteria. That's good. So...
Well, it's got Poisonous. It challenges a giant just by itself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't pick the ones.
I was thinking that he had no removal for a giant. Forgetting the Scorpion, assuming that gets removed because the giant's not coming for a turn or 2. But yeah. Can afford Luna to start lowering the cost of her giants because Eddie will just be attacking with big minions and has removal.
Still waiting for the Priest card that I've been looking to be released for 5 years now. Power Word 4. It's a 4 attack minion.
Okay, sounds good. To see why you also are in the same boat as me when it comes to designing Hearthstone things.
Yeah, because if Luna just had double Power Word 4 here, be easy board clear.
Oh, it kills all of the 4s.
No, if she had 2.
Oh, she would need 2 4s.
And it costs like 1 mana because, I mean, it only kills 4 attack minions, right? How expensive could it be?
Yeah, you ate to see it, so that's if you've got 2.
That was the worst one of the day, Neil. The worst one of the day.
No. The ones you don't notice have got to be worse, kind of by default. Luna's actually taking a lot of damage here.
I wonder.
He's got to do something about this. It sounds weird, but this could get nasty quickly. Because she doesn't have Powered 4.
Well, I mean, Hysteria is Power Word dead.
Isn't that just Shadow Word death? Isn't that...
Nope.
No? It's a different card? Okay.
Different card. Close, but different card.
Imagine giving Priest loads of cards that do the same thing. That's a tonk.
That is a honky tonk.
I'm not quite sure what to do with it, but you could... Do lots of damage and then raise dead and then do lots more damage. Do you play much priest, TJ? Like, what do you do when you're on turn 7 of a priest game and you know it's going to go for 40 minutes? How does your mind sort of adjust to that?
You pace yourself. You take it one micro decision at a time.
Right.
You don't think of it as, oh man, I'm playing a priest mirror that could be 3 full games of specialists where we factor in our tertiary decks. You say, I'm going to play a priest turn.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to play another priest turn. And then another one. And then another one.
Before you know it, you've played 30 priest turns.
Yeah, exactly. But it's all about pacing. Pacing yourself. One turn at a time. And when you break it down like that, when you segment it turn by turn, it doesn't feel so bad.
And then when your opponent adds you after the game, do you accept?
No.
No, not if you're playing priest. I think that's a wise decision. Luna, though, talking of decisions, has got it kind of tough. This tonk has made it rather difficult. She's had to just take the 8 and move on.
Well, that also discounts Flesh Giant.
Yeah. Many times.
Ooh, that's interesting.
You've got me fired up.
And he's going to do the time-honoured way of dealing with something that's too big for your board and ignore it.
Now we're cooking.
No real reason for him to overreact here. Not worth a soul mirror. Not really worth much of anything. So just put something in the way and keep on trucking.
Yeah, we learned earlier that it's really difficult to actually just die by mistake in this. You can really take far more damage than you expect. Shadow of Death for Luna generated there is really handy.
Yep.
Curious in particular about Eddie's hand, because there's a lot of stuff going on in Eddie's hand. A couple of clears, lots of big stuff, but none of it really currently sort of synergizes well with each other or is even easy to cast. So looking to see how he unscrambles this and turns it into sort of a cohesive fighting force rather than the motley crew of things it is right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of reactive stuff, and the proactive plays that he does have available. Fill up his hand, right? Ysera with a full hand, Skeletal Dragon with a full hand. These are very difficult things to get done. So
I feel he'll want to reduce the cost of that giant really quickly so he can play 2 big minions in one turn. Not sure how you go about doing that, but that's what I'd be planning to do with this hand is have a swing turn where at the end of the turn I've got a Skeletal Dragon, a giant, and I've killed off your board. So be planning for that. I don't know how you do that right now. Maybe you start with a Soul Mirror pretty soon just to get the first attack in and get rid of the 7 mana because your turn looks awful, and proceed from there.
I must consider.
I mean, he hates it, and I hate it, but I don't think he's got a better play, which is why I think you end up doing it, yeah. Allows you to pick up one more card and work out exactly what you want to do about the fact you're quite a bit behind on tempo. And Luna will be looking to push this while she can. She has the 2 more Mage Scribes still to come, so clearing up the board and get another one down seems really, really tempting to me. She needs to make sure she's got the hand space.
What is a loon's will?
Huh.
Indeed. Indeed.
Go like Onyx Mage Scribe, Wave of Apathy. And then you could still Powered Fortitude after that because it would put 2 spells in the hand.
Yes, you could, because it's going to cost 2. She will have available, so that's the play. Hope. Nope, she's going to play it slow. Not playing around. Power word 4.
Ha! The age-old trap. So from Eddie's perspective, he has like Blade Master Samuro double Apotheosis, which is a clear, but it's a lot of resources. And this is only 8 attack for now. I think he's in a position where he doesn't want to overreact again, right? The first Soul Mirror that he played was just probably because he couldn't really find anything else that was worthwhile.
Right.
But
no, I agree. This one's more urgent. You don't really want to waste your second and final Soul Mirror because you might have a genuinely difficult board to remove later.
yeah. Wait, he didn't just Mind Render, did he?
I think he did.
Oh, he flushed it? No, he flushed Giant. I was about to say.
Yeah.
Mind Render with 5 seconds left on your turn timer in a matchup where Mind Render's not even that good.
I just thought maybe he'd gone to the conclusion. You know what? I hate this hand. You play it. I don't want to look at it anymore. You show me what to do with it. It's rubbish.
Yeah. 0 mana Flush Giant.
What
Not
is
bad.
a loon's
No matter
will?
what she does this turn, she can end it with an 8/8. Has Shadow Word Death for the Flush Giant on Eddie's side. Could once again go Onyx Mage Scribe. Onyx Mage Scribe Shadow Word Death.
Sure, why not?
What is
I like
a
this.
loon's will?
And then, just see what happens from there, right?
Yeah. Trying to work out what else she's looking at because she's trying her hardest not to reduce the cost of Eddie's Giants, but one's been played now. That comes to an end very soon, right? She's being very, very greedy with her hero power and her cards in general, just using the hero power to force Eddie to commit. She's going for it though now.
All right, Shadow Form. Giddy up.
And keeps the Giant off the board for a reload if Eddie finds something good to do.
Job done.
And for this, yeah, because the Giant would have just been a nightmare.
Eddie finally has tempo on his side of the board. Caldara Drake. What?
Yep.
All
There
right.
was a turn. Somebody had that earlier, but I don't even know who anymore. Probably Muzzy. Imagine if Luna got that with the shadow form going on. Just pew pew.
That should be pretty sick. Harken back to the days of Raza, right? I
Yeah.
deleted it from my memory, so I'm honestly just not even sure.
It definitely existed. Yeah, perhaps it
Raza
wasn't
the
Raza.
Chained,
And it
and
cost 0.
Shadow something Anduin. Yeah, Shadow Reaper? I don't know.
Shadow Man.
Shadow Man Andor.
Is not a toy.
This is when you need Sottle. He's great at card names.
Yeah, he's the best. He studies them studiously via the medium of Raven. Have a 412, okay. It's quite a desperate measure, actually. That might give Eddie a bit of a notion that he can start really developing here. Because creating a 412 for your opponent is not the fun thing it seems. Oh. Thing is, if you make the trade here, then what do? You're trying to stay out of Hysteria range, so your 412 needs to stay above 9 or more health after your opponent's Mage Scribe. This works as well.
Works. Yep. All right, back on over. Both players going to have Mind Render Lucia in the far left of their hand for pretty much this entire game.
Yes. Only becomes relevant if you've got nothing to do, or if you somehow get the feeling that your opponent has a lot of insight style cards that you can just sort of burn through them all. Maybe if they cast too many palm readings, you could play an Lucia. That's sometimes a thing you can take advantage of. But really, yes, they don't get played. You just hold on to them forever. At least until fatigue. We're halfway to fatigue already.
What is
Eddie's trying to stay awake. Yawns on cue, look at that.
Condemn and Hero Power? Yep.
Oh, there's a game going on. Yeah.
Nice, clean, clear.
It's probably time to rush in and clear up.
With Blade Master?
Yeah. I mean, it's not great, but do you ever get a great one in the mirror?
He could probably start with Venomous Scorpion and see what's in the box.
Yeah. Yep, he could do that first just to not waste the Blade Master, but Blade Master seems decent enough.
I don't know why a Venomous Scorpion is carrying around spells. But, you know, after all these years, I've learned not to question things.
Learn not to question things? Because that's an interesting question you just questioned.
My place.
Yeah.
Trying to work that out now. Oh, does it, like, steal the spell force of the opposing minion? I'm pretty sure that spell force is a thing.
Job done.
Yeah.
I'm never going to convince TJ of anything, ever. Like listening to hot takes, except bad.
Spell Force. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Is that like a team of wizards that are like creating spells as well? We are the spell force. Fear us.
Yeah. Fear
I'm
us.
trying here, TJ. I'm trying. Not very well, but it's either that or talk about whether Gift of Luminance is better than Wave of Apathy. I just can't say either of those two words anymore.
Oh, no, it's hidden option number 3, Shadow or Death. It's irrelevant whether or not Wave of Apathy was better than Gift of Luminance, because Shadow or Death was better than both.
Right. But was it irrelevant? Yes. Yes, you're right, it was. Okay, so death something then, if it's so good.
Oh, she will. Initiation on a Scorpion. Interesting.
Yep.
Not really anything else she can do with that turn. Auspicious Spirits, there's a Scorpion on the other side, so. Okay, open things up with a palm reading.
Maybe. I mean, you've got to, right? I guess he paused for a second there because there's a world where you play a Siri, you get the spells, and you reduce the costs, but then you realise that you don't get them, and they've got cost 0 and 1 anyway, so you change your mind. Mage Scribe into double smite. Sorry, yeah?
Yeah, you said, oh yeah, Luna's for sure favored. Because she's got Mage Scribes in the deck. Well, turns out it doesn't matter. You can just get a million Mage Scribes, even if you don't put Mage Scribes in your deck, as long as you play Priest.
But if you put them in your deck, you've got 1,000,002. And when it gets to turn 30, those 2 matter. Maybe.
That's true.
Sometimes, if you both roll exactly average on your Mage Scribes and nobody gets a better minion or spell or worse spell than your opponent.
Ooh, speaking of Mage Scribe.
Whew. Well, there's a turn up. Someone's going to play a Mage Scribe. By the way, these naught mana giants basically just aren't really part of the game for long. They just appear and they go away again.
And then they die. It's so weird.
Like, what a stupid guy. It's naught mana 8/8 and it's kind of vaguely irrelevant.
Oh. Okay. That's another 8/8.
Now it's something, yeah, this needs dealing with. We can actually look at the board state now in a serious fashion.
Already first, Shadow and Ruin would be great here. Doesn't hit it. Does find a Power Word Feast. Oh, Sethic. Apotheosis, Power Word Feast, Psyche Split. Oh, geez. He's looking for the mana. Not there quite yet. Can't fit all that in. Could like forego the Apotheosis maybe and just go Sethic, Psyche Split, and Power Word Feast.
Yeah, I think you... Oh, okay. We're going to Sethic. I thought it might be willing to take quite a chunk of damage there and instead take sort of a bunch of Sethic turn. But now it's too late if he's going to Sethic anyway. At some point you have to draw the line and say, okay, I don't get this done in time.
Yeah.
But he just chooses to have 2 9/16s instead. Because why not? I feel like Luna's got this kind of covered though.
Yep. Blade Master Samuro. Powered Fortitude, Apotheosis. That brings it up to 6 attack.
Or Psychic Split, does that do it? It survives on both.
True. Since that would be... No, it's not quite enough. Oh, yeah, it is.
15. No, it's not, because you can assign it differently as well.
And then you tack 1 each into each Onyx Mage Scribe.
That is only 15, though, to each, I think.
Yeah.
Oof, so close. Only 15 to each of your opponent's minions. It doesn't kill them. And it doesn't matter. Great. Yeah, you still end up with 2 fairly decent minions out of it. Which is fine, right? It's...
Yeah.
I think what happened there is Luna saw that play straight away, and she spent the rest of the turn trying to work out why 15 isn't 16 and could she change that.
Yeah. Ah, and there's Koldar Drake making an appearance, but now Luna's hand is empty enough to maybe even play Ysera here. which is the only real proactive play she has anyway.
Yeah, Shadow Word Death doesn't get you anywhere, does it? So you play the Asura, you dream this back, and... Oh no, are we going to get Asura locked? Where both players have nothing better to do than bounce the opposing Asura?
It's definitely a possibility.
Just dumps the Nightmare out of her hand. Which is definitely something you have to think about with Shadow Word Death in your hand. But this is why. Yep.
Yeah, if they keep Nightmare and it gets streamed right back, then you lose a card. So...
So, what did you, where are you going on holiday this year? Which vacation are you taking?
Okay, there you go. Mindrender Lucid. Both their hands are like exactly the same, essentially.
Yeah.
Luna's going to see... Well, Luna knew that 3 of the cards were Laughing Sister, Emerald Drake, and Ysera Awakens, and one of the cards was a Kaldara Drake, since that was dreamed as well.
I'm sure this isn't fulfilling the meaty criteria for mind rendering people. And then you just mind render back after playing a couple of things. Because why not?
Share your thoughts with the class now.
Is that even good? I literally don't know anymore. It's put her slightly further behind in fatigue, or caught up in fatigue at least.
Yeah.
I must consider.
I do feel like they're both quite even on fatigue.
Yeah, this is... Yeah.
But now Luna has a lot more resources, because these are their actual hands, and the Mind Render being dumped means that Luna got to play some of Eddie's cards, and then Mind Render back, so Eddie doesn't get to play Luna's cards.
But now when she bounces Eddie's Ysera, Eddie will get better, has more space to store the better cards if that's a play that she makes. So I'm assuming she's planning to kill it.
Yeah.
Quickly. I must consider.
Is there trouble?
I think the I don't know which way it'll go either, but the deciding factor in this game might be the shadow form that she's taken, because it means that you just don't heal infinitely. It'll change breakpoints in fatigue at very least, for better or worse.
Yeah.
So she's going to Hysteria and Plague to make some space and get rid of Eddie's Hysteria. I want to say for good, but it'll come back. I'm sure there'll be a way in which it's either found by Ray's Dead or generated with Draconic Studies or something else. I'm sure it's not the last Hysteria Eddie will play this game.
I mean, he's got a natural Ysera still left in his deck, so...
Sure. You could draw one. Always an option as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Eddie's trying to make a board. Bless him. The thing that makes Priest Mirrors take a long time, apart from the fact you go through the whole deck, is that there's always multiple ways to clear the opposing board. But if you don't do it efficiently, it will cost you later. So everyone spends all of their time, as well as the fact it goes 30 turns, just to make sure they make the most efficient play. Whereas if it's Priest versus, I don't know, Druid, and you kill their board 3 times, it doesn't matter how you do it, you just win the game.
Yeah. Luna right now just so far ahead on resources.
Yep. Told you it's that double mage scribe. You can see it's making all the difference. I can't see what's making it any difference, honestly. I can just see she's in front. The fact she's got the Asura, the fact she got a little bit out of her mind render, I guess. She kind of won the Asura bounce war.
Not.
Okay, well, Ogremancer is something.
Yeah.
Just get an Ogremancer for herself here with initiation, and then how does Eddie come back outside of Ysera? So there are many cards in Eddie's deck. He has a Renew, a Devouring Plague, an Ogremancer, a Flesh Giant, a Ysera, and a Raise Dead.
Okay. Wait.
Time may pass, but the
Totally lost the thing I was looking for.
I'm still waiting.
You're still waiting? Okay, there you go. I found it. Bam.
Yeah, except one of the Raise Deads is not there.
Well, unlucky. You said you were waiting, so I showed you what I was trying to find.
So many different ways to play this.
Oops. I should have tested that off camera. I thought I could draw like the over the cards and then sort of make it appear on screen all at once, but no, you had to see my art in progress. Could have been a lot worse, I guess.
I'm honestly not sure how Eddie's supposed to win from this position. Now, if Dream comes out as well, it means that he's going to burn a card off the top, and Raise Dead was one of the cards I think he could have used to maybe squeak a little bit more value.
These illusions will.
Wonder if he's supposed to Nightmare the Ogre and take some damage. It might be too late now, though, because he's going to be too low on health.
Okay, it was Renew. That was another way to try and come back.
Yeah, Luna's kind of got this locked out, I think. But I've made this mistake before with Priest, so I'm always a bit loath to
I must consider.
play that. Eddie can definitely survive another turn or two. He's going to Awakens, heal his face, and play Zyrella, and that still leaves the opposing Ysera on board.
Yeah.
Oh, does it leave him in mana? Yeah, okay. It leaves him. Yeah, he's going to do that play. Oh, he's not. Okay. Gets more tempo than I'd get. Makes sense, I guess.
Both players discarded a Renew. Doesn't really matter at this stage of the game, I don't think. I think Luna's just too far ahead in value. Fatigue is completely even. Eddie just doesn't really have anything outside of Raise Dead in his deck that can really allow him to fight for a comeback, whereas Luna still has Draconic Studies, still has additional removal options with both Blademaster, Somnor, and Apotheosis, and Soul Mirror available. And that is Alex Straze. Is that lethal? Yep, with Nightmare plus... Oh, yep, it's exactly lethal with just Nightmare on the Ogremancer. So that ended a little bit faster than I thought it would. I thought it'd be drawn out and Luna would have to eke every ounce of value out of the cards that were remaining, but is able to spot the lethal and end game number 1 in the series. But now we get to switch to the old secondary decks. Well, in this case, it's going to be most likely secondary for Luna, which adds Cabal Acolyte, South Sea Scoundrel, and Cthulhu. Whereas Eddie is going to move on over to, well, maybe? Could just play primary again.
Yeah, Eddie's tertiary's got Mankrik and double Mage Scribe, and I think the Mage Scribe is a big deal. It also takes out the Flesh Giants, which are actually not very good in the mirror. The Devouring Plague and the Holy Smite, which to me seems like a good remove. I think it does improve his deck a little. But it does put an Insight in there, which you don't really want to do, so...
And a Desperate Prayer.
Yeah!
So I honestly don't know. It seemed like Eddie either, valued Priest differently than the rest of the field, in the case of he thought that tempo is king, and he put more tempo tools in his deck instead of these more late game fatigue oriented cards like South Sea Scoundrel and Cthulhu, which have been commonly accepted over the past couple weeks for specialists as the Priest near techs. But we'll see, I suppose. But Luna is, if Luna was a slight favorite in the primary matchup, I think she's a massive favorite now that we move over to the secondary / tertiary decks.
Yeah, I agree. So she's got the Cthulhu is a big deal. If you've played the Priest Mirror and your opponent shuffles in the cards at the start of the game, your first thoughts is, I've got 25 minutes of losing. you sit there, you can beat it. Like, it's beatable, but it's not great. Then there's the Scoundrels. So she's going to be ahead on fatigue as well. The one thing she hasn't got is the Sethex. And so maybe Eddie can set up some imitation Miracle Priest with Sethex and copies and have a couple of pop-off turns to make some big stuff to catch up on value, but then he's got to do it quick enough that he doesn't get Cthulhu. It feels a little bit like Impact versus Muzzy, where Impact was constantly having to be on the aggressive, except Eddie doesn't have access to Kazakus and some of the things that Impact has brought.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting matchup, but I think that we have to consider Luna the favorite by a lot. I'd say it's a pretty significant margin. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that it's like 80-20 win rate, right? It's still a Priest Mirror. There's still a lot of things that can happen in the mid game that are very tempo oriented, that could potentially dodge.
Raised Dead is a massive equalizer. If Eddie may decide to go mega greedy and just raise Dead on things very late in the game, Luna can't put any early pressure on. She's got no Sethex to do that with. So Eddie could just choose to sit there and go, okay, well, I'm not going to play any minions till you make me, and then I'm going to raise Dead my Scoundrels and just make you get rid of all your cards. Or maybe he gets Luna's good cards off her and uses them so they're both equal. Who knows? But Eddie has many routes to victory here. He's just not necessarily the one in the driving seat from the start.
Yeah, that's true. But like we said, it seems like he's been heavily prioritizing tempo as his win condition in the mirror match. Maybe he was expecting more of a field full of mages and potentially warlocks instead of playing as many priest mirrors, right? So didn't come as prepared for it. But that didn't seem to be the case, since Luna could end up being his downfall alone. Because if he loses 2-0 here, he would have just gone 0-4 to Luna, and those would have been his only losses. But we'll see. We're going to get into game.
Luna still has Flesh Giants. Does that mean she hasn't changed deck?
No,
she
changed decks.
Take them out. She leaves them.
Yep.
Okay.
And there is a Mankrik in the deck for Eddie, so he did switch to tertiary.
Yeah, and a Mage Scribe as well, which isn't in his main, so yeah. He's definitely switched, got the good stuff, and throws it instantly away. This is nice, though. So he is going to try and get Sethek value.
Job's done.
A little bit tougher in this matchup, though, because Luna's not playing Sethic, so usually you
Right.
just have a Sethic war back and forth.
I'm very curious to see if she, and I expect her to, but she may not, if she plays one maker on 2, or if she wants to be greedier than that with her raised deads. Kind of the highlight of the next 2 or 3 turns for me. You got any turn highlights you're looking forward to, TJ, in the next half hour?
Nope.
Well, you're not looking forward to any turn. Yeah, she does play it. That's my highlight ruined.
No highlights. Oh! Oh! Gift of Luminance, a Renew, a Holy Smite, a Sethic.
Full hand coming up.
This is, as the kids say these days, lit.
Did they say that these days, or was that like 10 years ago?
I don't
That's
know.
like something I
you
would
know.
say. Oh, keep up, TJ.
What is a loon's will?
We'll ask Darrett later what the kids say. We'll find out.
Yeah.
So it's not about if Eddie decides to pop off. It's just about if he wants to wait a turn or 2. But I think he just goes for it immediately.
Yeah. He's got multiple spells trying to get there. No mana, though. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's why I thought maybe he would wait. But it's just so much fun.
Yeah, it can be quite hard outside of Devouring Plague to deal with 2 Divine Shielded Sethics, even if they do have relatively low health.
Yep. And so you might as well do this. You might get another turn at it, like you just said. And you've generated a whole load of value while your hand is still fairly empty, which is another big deal we're seeing over and over again, that generating the value is not the hard part. It's having somewhere to put the value, because your hand just fills up with it so quickly.
Yeah, it's trying to make it as worthwhile as possible and not just about acquiring it.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a clear. Uses a pretty big resource in Blademaster Samuro. She might be thinking about coining out Flash Heal to keep the Wandmaker alive.
Yep. Pretty sure that's what the pause was, but turns out that she's got a Mage Scribe for next turn. That's probably a better thing to have that coin for.
I would agree.
We got there, TJ. It's the 4th week we've agreed on something already.
Nice.
We did it. High five. Eddie looking at this valley and going, well, I can go off again pretty soon. Only one, obviously, this time, but has another Gift of Luminance with that rally at some point.
It's just one Sethic. Oh, jeez.
Move quickly.
Maybe they'll buff it to 2/4 with the announced buffs. 10 buffs are coming.
I'll hold off judgment until I see him. All right, so I
You
think
always
this
do
is
that.
it has to deviate from the Onyx Mage Scribe turn.
Yeah, something we need to be aware of actually is that Eddie keeps the Mind Render here, whereas Luna does not.
Okay.
So if we see Luna doing weird things, that's because Eddie does have the chance to steal stuff. So she does have to play the Cthulhu pieces as soon as possible. Because one of the ways that Eddie could win this would be to insta-Mind Render and then get rid of a Cthulhu piece, and suddenly it's almost a level playing field again.
Yeah. could be. I don't know how much use it could have, but yeah, like you said, dumping a Cthulhu piece or maybe dumping some high value cards, but there's not that many outside of the Cthulhu piece.
Yeah, it's not the most thrilling difference between the decks ever, but it's worthy of note.
Do not lose these.
It's Eddie's love for the priest mirror written all across his face that's making me amused right now. But then he played Turtle Mage for a season, didn't he? Before my time.
He certainly did.
He has no right to complain about anything. I love that deck, but nobody else did. I always think of these priest mirrors as like the rogue mirror, but much slower. At the end of your turn, you kill your opponent's things, and you've got your own things, just like a rogue mirror does. Except the rogue does it with 20 cards a turn instead of 2. And if you miss a beat, you lose, rather than just catch up a turn later.
Okay. Oh man. Probably Draconic Studies just to try and get more stuff on the board. Flesh Giant still full cost. Crimson Hothead does seem like it's probably the best option or close to it.
Sure. Yeah, I don't see why not. Don't know if you play it for a while. Like, one of the great things about the Draconic Studies is that reduction, the fact it stacks. So sometimes you just don't play any of this value for the longest time. You end up getting a 6 cost with Isira or something. Not so much in the mirror because your hand's usually full, but... Right, Eddie, put some more stuff down there.
Magic is not a toy.
Oh, the pieces in her hand. But Eddie trusts her to play the pieces as she gets them, so he didn't mind render. Plus, he makes a monstrous board, which is probably better.
Yeah. I feel like Mind Render is going to be like a desperation play. But this is good. Builds that board, like you said, gets a lot of additional resources in hand, of which not too much value, gets double Shadow Form. Doesn't stack like it once did. The best use case is to deal 4 damage worth of burst in a single turn for 8 mana. But this hit Palm Reading and Rally is interesting, but still not like super useful at the moment.
Yeah,
just a Sethic. Could get a Sethic train going. That's about it.
Again.
Yep.
Eddie the Sethic train, man.
Your heart sinks.
The vaguest acknowledgement there from Eddie that there was a Cthulhu piece in her hand. And now Eddie being Eddie, trying to work out if he should have done it, but he did the right thing.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he did the right thing.
Plus, Luna did play one of the pieces on turn 5 or 6. So there's no reason for Eddie to think she had any other pieces in hand. It looked like she was dumping them. Which is kind of clever.
I wonder if it's just Ogre Master Shadow Form here and just snipe off the Scorpid with the 1/1 and the Hero Power.
like
Just
it.
trying to get that online.
I like it. I think that Eddie's... We've discussed it. We said he's a slight underdog or medium-sized underdog in this. So, yeah, take the chance that something that might something sensible that might work. Might stick you aboard.
Yep.
Go for it while you can. I like this.
Keep up the tempo. That's what it's about. Two full cost flush giants.
Yeah, this is what I learned, like talking to Impact earlier, that you sideboard these out because they're garbage in the mirror. They just always cost 8. They don't always cost 8, obviously. Luna could instantly make them cost 7 now, but you get the point. They're just not really worth it. So you tend to get rid of them. Which was weird to me, because the first thing I thought when I saw the lineups is, oh, yeah, the person with the most giants has more stuff as the game goes on, but they're too much clutter, apparently.
Yeah. I'm not.
I wonder.
Is it just like play a flesh giant? Like heal, play a flesh giant? Oh, jeez, Alex Straza.
Okay.
I mean, deals with the Ogremancer, sure.
It really did deal with it, but I don't know. I prefer just playing a flesh giant, but in fairness, our Luna is reducing the cost by healing with the coin here as well, so she's going to get better value, better tempo, everything out of them. One of the big deals about this particular matchup is that they're both on a lot of points already. So Eddie in 2nd place, Luna in 5th place, 1 point between them for those 3 places. So picking up a few points this week is a real bid for reaching the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because it also it's like an extra point because you managed to put out one of your very close competitors. Especially with no hands actually not getting out of groups this time around as well. So these 2 players and Frozen and Rami are the ones best placed to pick up on them.
I think we're still in keep digging for value territory here. No, Eddie's just not in the position really to keep pushing, though Shadowform is a little bit scary. Rally does not have full value, but of course gets back the Wand Maker and Venomous Scorpid. It's just a board, right, that Eddie has to deal with instead of building his own tempo.
Yeah, I thought going into that turn that Luna might actually be making half an effort to sort of reduce the giants, but it looks like she's just going to let that happen as and when she'd still rather have the tempo. Which makes sense. It's just I just noticed that she was paying a little more attention to the other both in her hand.
Yeah, Eddie just saying, I want to keep the board no matter what happens.
And he's doing a decent job of it turn after turn as well. And Luna's health total is actually getting to a level where we should at least look at it.
Yeah.
that's all I've got.
Oh, I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Not too quickly.
I mean, she's still got the heal and the Zyrella and so on. She's waiting for a while, but... That's the thing! The extra 2 damage that you talked about.
Boom. Pushing it. But again, though, still not under like that much pressure. She has Flash Heal. She has Soul Mirror. A lot of ways to clean this up. Could find additional healing with Venomous Scorpion and Wand Maker. It's just about not overreacting until you have to, right?
Yes. Especially when you're ahead in fatigue, your deck's built for the longer game better, blah, 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 all the things we talked about.
Yep.
Absolutely. And Luna's really in the zone for this one today. She's been full concentration mode even more than her normal self, I think, today.
Yeah, well, even though these priest mirrors can sometimes be, pretty difficult, they do only play the one match a day. So, priest mirrors for specialists takes a couple hours. Just give yourself that full focus for a couple hours. I think it ends up working out. It's quite worthwhile.
I agree entirely.
Yeah. But a nice clear spot on the Hysteria. And probably Renew. Yep. Just fit into hero power.
And that's exactly why
still quite healthy.
You have to full focus, because finding that clear, if you miss that clear, you waste a quarter of a card or something.
Yep.
I think in strange terms. And those little mistakes add up, and then suddenly you're a card down that you shouldn't be. Who knows where you end up. But now she's in a great spot because she's got Zyrella, she's got enough healing to clear a massive board at some point in the future. She may not even choose to do it for a while.
It could just be right now, right? If
It
she
could.
goes Flash Heal, even Heal Face, and then Zyrella, that's 6 mana. The Flesh Giants would then be 3. She could go Renew as well, which would be 7 mana. The Flesh Giants would be 2, so it can still only get down 1.
There's also, because you might not want to play both Flesh Giants together because of Hysteria. There's also stuff like Soul Mirror and drop a Flesh Giant, like right now.
Okay, yeah. But she did just also pick up a Cthulhu piece, so knowing that Mind Render's a possibility, maybe she wants to dump that. So it could just be like Flash Heal, Zyrella, and then play the Body of Cthulhu.
I'm sold. You sold me that. That's what we're doing. If Luna doesn't do it, we'll get production to just change it.
All right. Or even more conservatively, just play the Cthulhu piece and then heal and pass.
Because my 6/6 challenges your poison minion. We were thinking about it backwards, TJ. We were thinking the poison minion challenges the 6/6. But that's not the case when you're the defender.
Yeah, and Eddie has a pretty good clear here. It can go... I mean, I was thinking Hero Power Initiation, but Onyx Mage Grab I think is better in this case.
Which is another 4 damage. And now Luna's saved 10 points of Zyrella healing, so now's the time. Ultimate investment for the future. He's going to clear this lot up. Eddie's starting to run out of stuff. Luna's 2 cards ahead in fatigue and tiptoeing towards a Cthulhu as well. Now she gets to play the Giants. I assume she'll only play 1, yes. Not the most fun turn Eddie will ever have, but it's functional. Good ordering to get the extra card from the Sethek.
Yep. What's it going to be? Another rally! Replaced itself.
So many rallies. Always a nice feeling when you get down to this sort of hand with Priest and you haven't wasted anything to get there. You haven't just dumped it for the sake of it. You kind of use stuff well. You know your opponent's running out of stuff as well because you've used your stuff efficiently, and now you just draw an Asira and play it. It feels great.
Yep. Just so great. One of the best feelings in the world. After playing for an hour to play a card that makes you have to play for another hour.
You sound very slightly skeptical.
Starting to run a bit dry on resources, though. Oh, is this the Mind Render turn?
It looked like it for a second there.
I mean, it'd actually be really good.
You've got me fired up.
But just going to go with the Crimson Hothead instead with Shadow or Death. And then a Devouring Plague to just clean up the board. Once again, playing for that tempo.
And they're just trying to work out what to do with her last 14 cards.
She has Wave of Apathy, Soul Mirror, and Maw. So I don't think Shadow or Death is an option. Be between having minion pressure with Idol or even more reactive stuff with Hysteria.
I like Hysteria because there's a lot of 4-9s and 4-12s and 4-6s, but Luna wants a 10-10 apparently.
And there's the Cthulhu. Well, that was the last one?
Yeah,
Wow.
she's going through them pretty quickly. Now she can get a 10-10 Cthulhu, put it in her graveyard, raise dead it, and kill Eddie with it.
Magic is not a toy. Do not lose these.
What's happening, TJ?
I don't know.
Why is there 4-9 on the board every single turn? I'm sure Luna keeps killing these things. Why does it keep coming back?
You don't pick
I mean,
the ones.
Eddie goes all in. When he puts Onyx Mage Scribe in his deck, oh boy, does he put it in his deck.
Yeah. You should never go full Onyx Mage Scribe, I think, is the old saying.
You don't pick the one, silly.
Don't make the wands silly. Make them stop, DJ. Make them stop.
Oh my god.
They're 4-9s.
What is even happening? Well, the Out of Yashrash will be shut down by the Focus Will.
My blade seeks vengeance.
Yeah, Devolve's a good card against that as well. Your 8-mana card becomes a 1-mana card. Alright, well, Eddie has got noticeable pressure.
Yep,
Can survive Soul Mirrors. The game's actually happening.
it is.
JK.
Can I get an Onyx Mage Scribe? Oh, no. Interesting.
Luna's going to wave and then Soul Mirror, maybe? Yeah. But she gets
to have a
the-
board?
Yeah, but she gets the minions first as well. The actual recovery first.
Yeah.
Nope, she's just continuing to...
Another mirror?
Sure. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. She's only got 7 health to work with. You've got to be a little bit careful against priests. They do get a little bit of burst with Apotheosis and all the other buffs that priests have.
Yeah.
Find. Insight, Asira is not lethal, right? No, it's not. Is Asira lethal? It's not, right? 2, 4, 6, 10, 14. No. That Asira is 4 damage we need to remember at all times.
Yep. Soul Mirror is just a clear. Let's Eddie keep pushing through with these minions.
I wonder.
Yeah, they've only got to get through like one more time after this turn, so we know that Eddie is the aggressor. Might as well make Luna try and clear. She seemed to struggle to clear last turn. Why should she be able to clear all next turn? with the Seer in hand.
Unless, from Eddie's perspective, she's purposefully holding on to resources.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. I think Eddie wants to Scorpion here to find a buff. That's why he's fiddling around, because he's got the Asura for next turn, Scorpion for this turn. But yeah, it's very likely as well that Luna's being greedy. Because she's been greedy, incredibly greedy throughout this match.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't mind the Soul Mirror at the start, just because he gets you keep pushing damage. That's 10 damage, plus another hero power, that's 12.
It's good form, though, to find the play you want to make and then try and improve on it. And if you can't improve on it by the time the rope's half burned, just make that play.
Yeah.
Is she just, like, going to die here? Is this just it?
It might be.
It's just a whimper, and it goes to 1-all.
Maybe Devouring Plague to try and heal a little bit back up.
Wave's not going to do it. Or is it? Yeah, it is. Of course, Eddie needs 11 mana and only has... He's more than that. He's a lot more than that.
Pretty good way to build a board, though, from Luna's perspective. The ordering, make sure that she gets to keep decent-sized minions as well.
I must consider.
I want to Scorpion here. See if we can find a buff, see where I'm at.
Is that kind of similar with the ability to go renew?
Remember that Eddie's the only one with a Mind Render, so if he does swap hands, he knows exactly what Luna can do the next turn. Like she can swap back or anything like that.
Quickly.
Or swap first, more to the point.
Eddie's kind of got to move a little bit here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 3-mana Ogremancer. Start chucking spells.
It just throw things around to see where you end up. That's actually quite costly that he didn't get this Draconic off, because the Asura would be down to 8, which means it would free up the chance for a Nightmare and a Hero Power.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact he didn't get that off in time is a thing of note.
What is a loon's will?
And every turn it seems like Luna is struggling, but every turn she seems to find a way to not end the game.
What is a loon's will?
This one's a little bit more difficult of a puzzle because of the Ogremancer, but again, a Soul Mirror will allow for a lot of this board to be cleaned up, even though much of it will remain.
Yeah. On to 11
Done.
again. And even if Eddie had got off that Draconic Studies last turn, he would still be 1 short.
Yep.
I say that because Luna is probably well aware that these are key numbers that she's playing around right now.
I wonder.
Eddie needs 3 if he plays a Scorpion, right? He's got the Apotheosis, the hero power. He actually needs to get his own clears sorted now as well. Because Luna actually has a board. Personally, I want to double Draconic this turn to reduce my Asira to a level that matters. Oh, he gets the Alex.
Oh no! It wouldn't have been lethal anyway because the 2/2 would have spawned afterwards.
And the cycle of life is reborn anew.
Another Alexstrasza! Oh my!
Oh my. So why did we do the first hour again?
Great question, Neil.
Gonna be 1-1. Inevitably.
You don't pick the one, see?
2 in 6.
Yep, there's no way out.
Healing. Nope. Misses.
I think that's game.
He knows it as well. He's trying everything to find something that will get her above 8 or whatever number she's got in her head as key. He knows 3's not it. Is she playing the oh, she can't play the Malagos. There's healing in her deck. The Desperate Prayer.
Your mind is not your own.
And that'll do it. Sometimes you just get got.
Did you
I really like.
Cthulhu?
I think there were multiple turns, right, where Cthulhu was lethal out.
Quite possibly.
At the end there. But yeah, I like how Luna was greedy with resources because all she needs is one decisive swing turn towards the later part of the game, and then Cthulhu always becomes a threat, right?
Yeah.
But like their win conditions kind of working against each other because Luna knows that her deck wins in the later stage of the game, wins in fatigue, wins with Cthulhu, etc. Whereas Eddie knows that his only win condition is tempo, so in a way, it just kind of worked in Eddie's favor for a large portion of the game because he never really gave up the board. Like for a long time, he just kept pushing damage, and Luna was never able to fully stabilize.
One thing that's becoming quite clear is that Soul Mirror doesn't cut it. You might have to take it because there's no better options, but the Soul Mirrors are just not doing it against 4/9s and whatever those things are turned into when they're buffed.
Yeah.
The health is so much bigger than the attack, and then your Soul Mirror costs your whole turn because it costs so much mana, and then your opponent just clears up the bits that are left over and carries on as if you never got Soul Mirrored at all. So that's something I think worth looking out for later on.
Yeah. Yeah, this last turn here. Was where at least Sotto pointed out to us. Luna tried to get the insight to draw the Cthulhu because there was Malagos and then there was only 3 minions left in the deck at that point, I believe. At a quick glance.
She also glanced at the deck.
Oh no, there was.
I didn't clock it at the time.
There was actually 6 minions left. There was both South Sea Scoundrels, Cabal Acolyte, and yeah, sorry, deck tracker just cleared. But yeah, there was quite a few minions left, so I don't think it was that high of a chance. But maybe I'm wrong, and the deck tracker just went all wacky on me at the end. It tends to do that in priest matchups just because it does get a little bit insane.
It's programmed to make us feel comfortable with how we are getting on with the priest matchup. It's like it just gets a few things slightly wonky just to make us feel comfortable. That's how it's programmed.
Yep. But now we're going into game 3. I doubt we're going to see any deck switches. Eddie will probably still queue up that tertiary deck with the Mancrick and the double Onyx Mage Scribe. And still has the Ogremancers, and then Luna will queue up that her secondary. It's secondary, tertiary with the South Sea Scoundrels, as well as the Cthulhu. So we'll see if Eddie can muster up that tempo yet again. Because
a lot of Mage Scribes that last game. He played a large number of Mage Scribes.
he certainly did. Yes, it was like 5 or 6 towards the end. And he was pretty aggressive with his resources, but I think in that case, you kind of have to be. So, like what he ended up doing there, but at the end of the day, it just came down to the double Alex Draza just ripping them both right off the 2 Draconic studies that he was able to generate.
Yeah, because why not? Like,
Because
the game had just
why
had
not?
enough of being a priest game, and it decided to end. And Eddie ended it in correct fashion. Goes to 1 apiece. I still think he's a decent-sized underdog for this, though, even having seen him win that one. Let's see what happens in game number 3. The winner of this one starts to look good towards the playoffs, especially if they can get through to the final, say, this week.
Yep.
And the loser sort of doesn't slip back into the pack. The loser will still be in a good position, but obviously every point is crucial. So, 1 game of Priest to see who gets those points.
Let's see it. When I face with an
Instant
interesting
question.
decision right off the bat, but I guess Ysera is just the big one.
It is, but she could have sort of tried to defend with a 4-5 straight away, and definitely a question. Also shows how much preparation she's done, because she didn't mess around. She just took the card straight away, which means she knows the answer rather than just working it out.
Now there's 2.
Uh-huh. Ysera the dream and Ysera the other dream. Right, I want to see how Eddie does this. What he prioritizes with Raised Dead.
Click the wand.
Does he want 1 of each, or does he want 2 Mage Scribes to exist? Curious to see where he goes.
I'm gonna go with Point Ogremancer. This early on in the game, it's actually
One for me, one for you.
quite potent because there's not really much to be done by an Ogremancer, especially when there's not really much on board to be had. So
She can't take the Ogremantzer here. I think it's too much to clear if Eddie plays the other one. I mean, obviously she can Hysteria it, but if they do get Raised Deaded or whatever, it's a lot.
the hardest question is, like, which one do you
What
care about
is a
Eddie
loon's
drawing as well? And if she picks Ogremancer herself, then Eddie's probably just going to play another Ogremancer next turn.
That's what I mean, yeah, exactly. That's what I was going with. I think she has to pick Hysteria here. Based on how bad Soul Mirror was last game, I feel that stocking up on Hysterias is the way forward.
What
Yeah?
is a
Professional
loon's will?
judgment here.
Just Hysterias and Yseras all the way down?
Yeah? All the way down.
Wow, okay, it does pick
Okay.
Ogremancer. She does have a 5/5 on the board now, though. So one of the Ogremancers just challenged on board if Eddie were to spend his entire turn playing Ogremancer.
Fair enough. Yeah, I tend to forget that the Scandal is a 5/5. It's a decent sized minion, obviously.
All right. Are you just going to say, cool, well, I'm just going to take
Yeah.
my nice free kill on your 5/5 and keep my Ogremancer alive. I know that you picked an Ogremancer. And so now you have the same tools that you had the previous turn to do with my Ogremancer, except you didn't get anything from my deck. You just got another Ogremancer.
Wait, I'm confused. I'm not sure how this.
Why? How-
Because he must have worked out the Hysteria, and I haven't. I guess. Yeah, that's the answer. Because she knows Eddie's got another Ogremancer. and being 2 Ogremancers to 1 down feels bad, but because she's got the Hysteria, I assume that it clears. And I think it does. Or at least does a chunk of removal, depending where it goes. Huh? Alright.
Board tension. That's what this is all about. Board tension.
Take those mediocre minions and just slam them against each other and see what happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the things is that now both players' raised dead pool is just completely ruined because they have 2/2 taunts.
That's probably good for Luna, actually, in fairness. He's got 3 Ogremancers, and Eddie's only got 1. He's got Soul Mirror.
Okay, so he just does it right back.
Yeah. I think so. I think that's the move. Pretty sure. So whoever raised deads and misses the 2/2s and gets the Ogremancers in a great spot. Whoever gets it wrong is in a terrible spot. What have we become? Your move, Luna.
Yeah. Now the raised dead pool is even worse for both players.
It's just a load of 2/2s and some ogres.
Okay, so Asteria here is just terrible because there's just a bunch of 2/2s that stuff's going to attack into.
3 2/2s trying to kill a 3/4 ogre. Oh. Eddie's got a lot of value. Like we're having a laugh at the Ogremancer stuff, which is obviously deadly serious for the players. But Eddie has double Mage Scribe to back this up with.
Yep.
I feel like that's a lot of tempo he's going to be getting over the next few turns. Luna's going to look at this board and wonder if she's any better off than where she started.
Yeah. Well, the Ogremancers are gone, so now she can actually play spells. I mean, this Ogremancers going to die on board, but it's not like the worst thing in the world, you know?
That Ogremancer has a family. Right. Back to normal Hearthstone, kind of.
Yeah. Ogremancer shenanigans are gone. As we've mentioned multiple times, Eddie just never wins in fatigue. He's already 4 cards deeper, essentially 5 cards deeper because of Cthulhu. He doesn't have a Cthulhu in his deck, so he can feel free to just draw with insights because, yeah, that's how he wins. He just draws more minions.
Yep. And he has got a lot of Mage Scribes again. Just throwing away the Desperate Pair to make some space so that next time he can Mage Scribe again or possibly raise dead. But I don't think he'll want to raise dead until his pool's got some non-2/2s in it.
The dream is eternal.
Oh. Tempo.
My hand is too full.
Holy Smite, not the biggest of deals.
This is the problem with Mage Scribe. I think it's a really good card, but this is why I'm not absolutely totally sold on putting it in the deck. Because it is kind of slow. It's not just because it costs 6. It's like, it fills your hand up and then you've got to actually play the things it gets you and you have no control. It's just all a bit rough.
Yeah.
And Eddie's decided, What I was joking about last game is like, you play this hand, I don't want to. I want to see something different.
Share your thoughts with the class now.
Time to screenshot the hand.
Quickly.
Not the highest value of palm reading because there's 2
Gotta
raise
go.
sets in hand. He's just gonna get 2/2s back.
Oh no, he hit an Ogremancer in Luna's hand. No, this. Hey. This didn't feel like it got anywhere.
Yeah. Didn't really get him that much more value in hand.
And he's trying to hit a Cthulhu piece maybe because Luna hadn't played one for quite a while and he wasn't going to let her bluff it, I think. Which is relevant because these players will play again at some point in the future weeks. So if you give your opponent a chance to take liberties with you with like that, you sort of just got to fact check them. Make sure.
Seems like they're both just completely dumping.
Yeah. Except they can't because they just keep drawing more stuff.
Yeah.
Like Eddie gave Luna an Ogremancer and a 2/2. And Luna's desperately trying to dump stuff, and she's got him a rally, a 2/2. Nice cake. Just impossible to even play your opponent's hand badly on purpose. It's great. I recognise this board state. What normally happens is you play Isira and then dream the 4/9. Because that's what Luna did to Eddie like 3 turns ago.
Idol?
Maybe.
Wouldn't even be surprised.
Must consider.
I do feel like watching the plays and following the game and stuff that I'm supposed to, that Luna is more confident about the matchup. I don't feel like Eddie's playing badly or anything, but Luna just feels like she knows exactly how things pan out, whereas Eddie seems to be having to use his Hearthstone knowledge to some degree. Did you say these two are playtest partners quite often as well in the previous edition of Hearthstone Grandmasters?
Yes. I'm not entirely sure anymore, but they talked about in the past practicing together quite often, and how the dynamic was between the two of them, whereas Luna says that Eddie has like a natural gift for Hearthstone and that he could be like the best player in the world if he actually put more focus into it.
Right. That feels sort of how I see this exact game going, where Eddie's making it up really accurately as he goes along, and Luna has already played it a million times and has worked it out.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Okay. I'll have an extra 5/13, you have an extra 2/2. Who got the best of that deal?
Honestly, I feel like Eddie could be struggling from this point. Luna trying to play around Soul Mirror to the best of her ability. I don't think there's a real good way to do it.
Yeah. Oh no, she's put so the Hysteria world, the 5/10 can die to 2 hits the way she's done this now, which would keep the 5/11 alive in some combinations.
Yeah, but you could just Hysteria the 5/11.
Sure. Okay. Tried. Look at this selection of things that Eddie has got on the board. Just things.
I'm quite a fan of things, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, we saw this board against Mage as Warlock earlier, and we thought it was amazing.
I wonder. I wonder.
It's a different game for Luna when she's got this high health total and no threats against her. She can just do what she likes, but it makes playing it so much harder because you haven't got a threat to respond to particularly, so you're choosing what to do now. It looks like she's just going to have a turn where she empties out all the things she doesn't really want to use.
Not you.
Just thin out the garbage a little bit. Because she has got that Ysera that she wants to presumably get maximum value from in this game. Because she's not under pressure, she'll have time to do that maybe.
Yeah, just maximum value from anything is really the only way that she needs to go about things. Right now, the board's not out of control. It's just so much value palm reading to find something that could be necessary. A lot of big minions.
Yeah.
Time may
This feels... It doesn't feel wrong, but it feels bad. It feels like Eddie's in a bit of a corner now, having to play this Ysera when there's two Mage Scribes in hand, but there was nothing really to activate them with that was going to do anything great. So he's ended up here. In the wonderful world of Ysera.
He's dead. Not that great. A lot of just garbage that has died.
Yep.
I wonder.
You start off with this wonderful, sort of clean, concise, well-constructed unit of fighting force, and by the end it's just any old rubbish.
Yep.
Hit you with a 1-2 that came from an ogre that was a 2-2 but has been halved in size. Because that's what I've got on the board. Oh, here we go.
What is Elune's will?
Just Ysera Wars all over again. Ysera and Dream again.
Looks
She's
like
only going to get Dream and Nightmare.
But she feels she's in front, so it's Eddie that has to break the wall, and he wants to play Ysera last turn. I think that's the point here. He's a little bit ahead on board, so if Eddie keeps doing this, he loses. So he's got to do something he doesn't want to. With the exact same hand he had last turn, where his play was to play Ysera. It's all up to Eddie to break the deadlock. And he has a bajillion ways of doing that, don't get me wrong.
I must consider.
That's a lot of ways.
It's not that many, though.
I've never heard you count to a bajillion.
Well, the argument here is not whether a bajillion ways is that many ways, but if there are a bajillion ways to begin with. This is quite the awkward board state to try and push through.
It is. That's a fair comment.
move quickly.
Just play Awakens and get rid of the headaches.
Is not a toy.
You blow up your own board, but the headaches will go away. This seems far more sensible than my suggestion. actually playing the game properly. Probably the worst card in her deck. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the time.
Sorry, in this match, yeah.
Yeah. Can be good in some instances, especially when combined with Wave of Apathy, or just like to steal Sethix, things like that.
Yeah.
But Blade Master Samuro plus Nightmare will be a full clear, traded over the Onyx Mage Scribe, and then push another 6 damage and get 2 spells. So, they're not looking quite good at the moment.
Yeah, Eddie's been kind of out of this one for 2 or 3 turns. And really struggling to get back in. The turn that he played Asira, again, it wasn't wrong, but he'd got in a position where he had to play Asira when it's not the greatest tempo play, is it? When you can play 4 9s instead of 4 12s and get a load of cards. So he has been struggling since then.
Okay, sure.
Right. 12 away. Kind of like the Ruin, it's cheap enough. How much does the Fortitude cost?
Only
It's like
4
2.
spells in hand. Oh, 5 spells in hand.
Hmm.
Plus the reduction would have been 3, I think.
Okay.
2 or 3, yeah. Picks Initiation just because it's like the ultimate temple tool, right? You kill a minion, you make a minion with a single spell.
Yep. Especially when people are throwing Mage Scribes and Deceivers at each other. If you make an extra one of those, is just a bit of everything. It's great.
Finally, Eddie has use for these Shadow of Deaths.
Yep, Luna's done a good job of not buffing things into the Shadow of Death.
Initiation, and then get Shadow of Death. And get 2 more spells. Wait, 3 more spells.
Handful of spells.
Can end the turn with, oh, nothing. Okay, cool.
And now it's Luna who, predictably, as it's the end of somebody else's turn, now she needs to find a solution. Doesn't have a whole lot going on suddenly.
Looks like it's going to be a Sarah, and then Dream will actually kill the Onyx Mage Scribe because there's nothing left.
Yep. No hand space left.
Hand is too full.
Ooh, palm reading. It's a pretty good one. Luckily, Eddie's got another one.
Yay. Draconic Studies. Just insta-take.
Yeah.
Who knows, you might get to Alex Straz and just end the game. Proto-Drake's pretty good. I like Proto-Drake. It's so annoying to deal with for your opponent. And if you get it back with a Raised Dead, it's annoying for them twice. Luna's not playing Soul Mirror, I believe. Oh, she is. Sorry. It's not so great.
I wonder.
It's the biggest thing, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine. If it gets Soul Mirrored, it's really annoying, but it's still okay.
Not too quickly.
Oh.
I mean,
Battlegrounds card appears.
it's not like going going to be that much bigger on average. It's just getting a card out of his hand, I think.
Yeah. It's handy enough. It bumps into scorpions and things if they get in the way, so it does something.
Yeah.
Better than whatever that is. Oh. Yeah, Luna's straight back in the tank trying to work out how to get the most out of these. Needs to, and I think she's doing a good job of not being distracted by Eddie's health total as well, because she's got this one in normal ways. Obviously, if she kill him, it's great, but there's no panic to do that.
I wonder.
She's got way too many options. Everything sort of adds up to 7, which is how much mana she's got.
Yeah, see, no, Lucio, not too worried about dumping this Cthulhu P. Is just going to, once again, play minions on the board for tempo, even forgoes the second Laughing Sister in order to get the hero power in.
Yeah, and that says a lot about her mindset, right? I mean, first of all, that does play around Hysteria, because the 2 Laughing Sisters would be a bit of a problem for the 5/5, but also just that she's in no hurry and she respects her health total, or is trying to get the health total up.
Yep.
Because she's nearly, well, in a relative term, she's nearly exhausted Eddie of resources. There's a little way to go yet, but...
I wonder.
He's just trying to work out. He's going to studies and play a dragon. He's just trying to work out the ordering on that, I think.
Must move quickly.
Yeah, whether or not to play first. He's not dealing with the board this turn, though. I don't think. So, wave comes out no matter what. Looks like he's just going to take your Sarah value. And then... Nixia? Oh.
Interesting.
Okay. That was Brightwing. Looks like he thinks he needs something a little you know, a little oomph. A little something extra. A little juice.
Because Nixia looked fine to me as well, got to admit.
Yeah.
Eddie's looking for the good old Hail Mary.
So this is a potential lethal.
Nothing that Rustwicks won't solve.
Start with I. How many hits need to go face? There's 2, 6, 7, 8. If 4 hits go face, it's lethal.
Okay. No. What about 1?
Nope.
It's like 4, but less.
So she could just dump a heart.
Oh, here's the initiation that she hit up for getting a sticky minion. 4/12's pretty sticky. Nothing that Barov from Brightwing won't solve.
Yep.
Actually, it might not solve it, but that's not the point.
Finally, Eddie hits a board sweep here with Hysteria. Could use the Nightmare minion against Luna.
Yes.
Yep, that's
fine.
clear.
Put him there, not the 4/9, but that's fine. Hard to deal with minion. Luna may not want to play this.
Play the South Sea Scoundrel?
Yeah, she might not want to.
I mean, it accelerates fatigue.
It does, but it gives Eddie more options potentially as well, because you might not be able to actually choose much out of the 5 cards that's left that's any good.
Yeah. There is a Raised Dead, a Sethic, a Venomous Scorpid, a Zyrella, and an Ogra.
She's going to see what else she can find.
Draconic Studies seems almost always good.
Yep, especially as the Raid Dead. That was this game, wasn't it, where the Raised Deads are just like futile.
Yeah. Runaway Blackwing, another Ysera. Boom.
I like all three of these.
Problem solved.
Not lose.
What's even going on?
I mean, Eddie has like 6 turns to essentially kill Luna because Eddie's just out of stuff, and Luna is not out of resources to deal with boards by any means.
Yep. Yeah, it's been very different to the last game where the opposite felt true the whole game.
Yeah.
I want Brightwing to do its thing. To get Inara or something like that. I don't know. Not enough.
Just gonna sack this. Guess he could Nightmare Shadow or Death. This is interesting.
Quickly.
How about Brightwing into Niru Fireblade? Dream Impact. Oh, it's only enemies now, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Saying take the poisonous. I just need to kind of push here.
It's fine though, they both got the death rattle, so it's fine. Should have something to do next turn that's at least half decent, at least in Eddie's mind. I think he's starting to realise that Luna's got too much stuff for him, but what else can he do? And you said it, when he took the Brightwing, he'd already seen that that was happening.
What is illusion?
Inscribe Shadow or Death to start things off potentially.
Magic is not.
Yeah, that'll be okay. Like it. So that's one minion fully dealt with. And yeah, she's just going for maximum heal because, again, as we keep saying, she only has to survive very few turns now. But the damage does come in lumps if you don't take care of it. But she's still got Ysera's backup. She is absolutely fine. Ouch. Raised Deads before the Brightwing is interesting. That means he's trying to hit something specific.
Yeah, that Deathwing really just feels like it's there for... Or that Brightwing is there for just the...
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolute desperation, you know?
Problem is that Legends have a lot of battle cries. 47.5% of legendary minions have battle cry. And that means they're useless if you hit them. Because you're wasting the battle cry. If they're legendary, they've got battle cry. That's probably where the value is.
Yeah.
Move quickly.
Yeah, just gonna use this to get a Shadow or Death target, get a little bit of Sethic value, run it out of time though. If these keep hitting targeted spells, you still got 8 mana left. Okay, it's just Insight. End the turn with the Brightwing.
Because why not?
In the box! What? Gahoon?
Okay. He's quickly having a look at what that card actually does.
It is not that great. It draws cards.
Yeah.
They cost health instead of mana.
So yeah, it's actually really, really bad because he doesn't want to draw cards. So yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a lot better stuff hiding there. Luna just going about her business, but it's just getting a bit tricky. She's got so much healing that she's okay for a while, but... The Mancrick's just made things a little bit irritating for her, I think.
Almost out of cards.
Magic is not a toy.
So Luna still has Zyrella in her deck, which is why she didn't use both heals here.
Do not lose these.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's getting close, but...
He is.
Well, I don't know about this.
Trying to work out where... I say this went wrong. It hasn't gone wrong yet, but it's looking tough suddenly.
Oh, the last card in Eddie's deck is Zyrella.
Okay.
So you South-Sea Scoundrel, draw the Zyrella, and then heal.
Yes, 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 and then you win.
So Devouring Plague and Flash heal, that's 9 heal. That's almost a full clear.
Yep, that's near enough. So yes, good spot.
Unless I'm weirdly mistaken.
Time may pass, but the
We're going to find out.
All right.
I think you're right. I've not seen a Zyrella from Eddie, I'm pretty sure, so unless it's not in there for some reason. That'd have been so cool.
I'm out of cards.
I think Luna may have just clicked.
Yeah, well, I mean, our brains are shut off because Luna would not know that.
Would she not?
I mean, how would she know what the last card is? Could be any of the cards in hand. I mean, maybe she could guess.
Yeah, but there's...
Actually, wait a
It's
second.
all generated in her hand.
It's all generated cards.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a world where she could have either known it or known that it was a very good chance. I think she would have known.
Yeah, actually, legitimately, every single card in the hand is generated,
Yeah.
except maybe the Insight.
Yeah. Interesting. Maybe it's too much to risk. Maybe she did know there was 2 cards or something and couldn't take the risk. Well. It's pretty tasty.
She probably had it narrowed down to like 3 or 4 cards, right? You could tell she was like looking over at the deck tracker trying to figure out what hadn't been played yet that was actually in the deck. It also could have been the Venomous Scorpid, but I think the Venomous Scorpid came a little bit later. I think it came off of one of the race deads.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Eddie's played all Scorpids that he's had the chance to.
Yeah.
He's drawn them. Luna was comfortable here, not playing Nightmare, which means she thinks she's getting through the next turn. She's right. And Eddie's down to just a handful of minions, but still not over.
I wonder.
What knowledge do the stars provide?
Yeah, the Cahoon is just straight up a liability at this point, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he does manage to clear up the lifesteal without having to trade into it.
Yeah, but this is all he's got left, and this is slim pickings.
Oh, great.
None of these have a particularly strong effect. Luna just needs to get through pretty much this one last wave of threats.
She's kind of low.
As
herself.
Wand Maker.
You don't pick the wand.
Yeah, but there's not even lethal represented on board. Yeah. Yeah, I think it has to be Body of Cthulhu here just to try and block a little bit of damage. Laughing Sister heal. And the next turn, if there's a desperation situation, Luna could just go Onyx Mage Scribe and Nightmare or Draconic Studies to just try and find an answer.
Yeah.
And Eddie's still just dealing with this stuff here, and it's not even like great trades on the board.
Do not confine yourself.
Well, thanks, Brightwing. This is all your fault.
Yep, go face. It's really the only way. There's a renew.
Taunt.
Finds a taunt.
Health, yeah.
Yep. Luna knows that there's a legendary minion in hand, and a random dragon.
Well played.
Good luck.
You have best.
Unless
Yeah.
he's got bounce.
Yep, that's it. Whew. A marathon of a series, but it will end very similarly to how we saw their initial match end, with Luna taking the victory. That's 2 losses for Eddie just this week to Luna and Priest Mirrors. Gotta be rough, because that was 3 hours?
It was.
Almost?
There's at least 2, yeah. 2.5, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of minutes. We'll just put it that way, a lot of minutes. And to come up empty-handed after getting so close has to be brutal. And, you know, honestly, I think it comes down to just Eddie being forced to try and play that tempo style. It worked out for him in game 2, but didn't work out in the end. He didn't have any protection against fatigue, didn't have Cthulhu or Saucy Scoundrels or anything. Luna knew that she could just kind of play it a little bit greedily, hold on to resources, try and go for these big board sweeps and just not die, and then eventually out-resource him. And that's exactly how the game plan ended up working in game 3. So I don't think Eddie can be too upset about how he played it. It's just about maybe not being as prepared for Priest as he thought he needed to be going into the weekend.
Yep, I agree.
And good on Luna for actually having a tertiary or secondary deck that could handle it in a straight-up Priest Mirror.
She did take a bit of a chance, though, with her lineup, and it's paid off. Like, this is not a criticism, this is an observation. She did go with the no Sethx, so you know, if she ran into a Hunter even, like last time, she'd be